How's it going, everybody? It is Sam with BFPGear.com, and today's video is massive. ESPN and paintball, it's happening. It has been a long time since something like this has happened. I honestly can't even remember the last time I watched paintball on ESPN, but it was definitely over 10 years ago. Tom Cole of the NXL apparently has reached out to ESPN, and I think we're going back on TV. So there are a lot of things to discuss, and that's what this video is going to be, is just a big open discussion about paintball being on TV, and I think some things that I would personally like to see and things that I think are going to happen with this partnership. If you guys and gals out there have any kind of thoughts, comments, concerns, let's talk about it in the comment section below. Hit us with your thoughts and opinions on this, because this is massive news. So, time for me to look over my notes a little bit, and let's talk about some good stuff. I want to see what's going to happen with paintball back on TV. Well, got my notes here, and yeah, this announcement happened about a week ago. Today is the 12th of June, but this announcement did happen about a week ago, and I believe that there was some information that was said yesterday on a podcast about, I guess ESPN will be at the Mid-Atlantic Major, and they'll be filming the finals match, and I guess that's going to be showing sometime, I believe they said, in August, which is huge, because that seems like a really fast turnaround time. So I think that's really cool. But one of the first and biggest points to go over with paintball going back on TV is that it's back on TV. That is the point in itself. Paintball getting more and more exposure, and folks might be skimming through channels or some streams or something like that. That's going to generate some interest. People are going to be watching this, and they're going to be eyeballing what's going on. And honestly, with the NXL shooting pink shelled paint with yellow fill, it's pretty easy to keep track of, especially with the current equipment that the NXL has access to. But the big thing is to generate interest. People are going to watch this, they're going to think it looks really cool, really fun, and hopefully they start reaching out to local fields and stores and start picking up paintball equipment. What that's going to do is cause this, I think, well, this is just what I think it's going to create this really big snowball effect, and paintball becomes much more widespread across the United States or even the world, and it's going to be recognized as a traditional sport versus, I guess you could call it an extreme sport. Doing that is just going to make paintball just massive, and it becomes just like a bigger talking point for people. It also just becomes something that everyone's going to be doing every weekend, and we might even see maybe more paintball fields open up throughout the week. Who knows? But again, if it does take off the way that it would be cool if it did, like if it just, again, snowballed, you could see some exponential growth. And I think that's going to be an amazing thing. But just to start off on that point, more exposure with the sport is perfect, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. Another thing that might happen here is we get more sponsors. Obviously, like all the sponsorships that come through for the NXL right now, like I know Hertz is one of the big ones. That's a big grab for the NXL. I think that's an awesome sponsorship, and it seems like it has been just widely received as amazing. And what if we start getting more outside sponsors that maybe weren't too familiar with paintball, or maybe they just viewed it in a whole different light? Having that exposure with paintball, they're going to look at this and go, damn, this is intense. This is like an actual factual sport. Might start seeing, maybe like, I don't know, like some hydration solution. Maybe Liquid IV sponsors it. We start getting like Liquid Death in there or something like that. I'm just throwing out names. Hell, even athletic companies like Nike. We see a lot of folks out there wearing the The Air Jordan cleats, I'm definitely looking at you, Thomas Taylor, on NYX. If any of you have seen that man's footwear as he's playing with NYX, those Air Jordan cleats look sick. But imagine if Nike throws out the Air Jordan cleats and they're like, hey, this is like one of the best cleats you can wear in paintball. That's going to be crazy. Like, that's going to be so cool to see. And then you're just going to have all these bigger companies start talking about like, hey, this is what this cleat's meant for, but you could use it in paintball. I know, I want to say Infamous had like a Nike sponsorship years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember seeing those guys, they're like rocking like Hypervenom cleats. I'm like, dude, those are like $250 shoes like to wear for paintball, and you're just going to go beat the crap out of them on turf and all this like muck and stuff. But it was really cool to see that Nike kind of stepped out from traditional sports and was like, yeah, we'll sponsor a paintball team. We'll see how this goes. It'd be cool to see them do that more frequently with more teams, and who knows, that might even bring the attention of like other companies out there. It's like, oh man, Nike's going to sponsor these guys. Oh, here comes Adidas. Oh, here comes Reebok. Here comes Under Armour. It's just going to snowball. And then maybe we'll start seeing some of those companies start creating maybe paintball specific products, or maybe they partner up with some of these brands and companies to create like a really sweet collaboration, because they're like, hey, you know, like Under Armour's like, oh, we want to make like compression pads too. What do we do? And then they team up with, oh, I don't know, Exalt or something. That'd be really cool to see. And then more people that love wearing, you know, certain brands of clothing, or some of these brands. Like, I mean, I see folks with Nike and Adidas shirts and like tracksuit pants and whatnot everywhere. They're going to be like, wait, these guys are doing paintball now? It might generate some more interest. Again, that snowball effect, it just, the faster it goes downhill, the more it collects, the faster and bigger that snowball is going to get. And it's going to be absolutely crazy. Which is going to bring me into my last point here. The last thing that I have on my notes here is, well, with more sponsors and more companies showing more interest in paintball, you start to see more money. Money is kind of a weird one, right? The equipment that the NXL is working with is pretty damn good, but imagine if it was like NFL level equipment. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. You would hear Matty Marshall's beautiful voice talking about like, oh man, it's a 3-on-1 and we got this guy sitting in the Dorito, you know, and he's just shooting cross field, that kind of thing. And then you have a camera that can actually zoom in on that guy. And then you might even see like those streaks of like that pink shelled paint just flying all around him. It's going to be really cool for the viewers that are at home and can't make it to the event. And it's just going to look good all around. I mean, there's even like the high-speed cameras and stuff like that. I mean, these are expensive pieces of equipment, but imagine how many like coaches could like potentially challenge something that happens and maybe start reversing penalties or getting penalties on the other guys and stuff like that. Obviously, with more money, you get better equipment. The other thing that more money can solve is better price structuring. And that's going to be across the board for professional teams, for divisional teams. It's just across the board. Normally, more money usually means more problems, but in this case, I think more money is going to be like a really good thing. Again, especially if more sponsors start, you know, throwing their hat into the ring and stuff like that. It's going to be really awesome. The other thing that I would love to see is, you know, those companies, just like I mentioned before, if they start making, you know, collaboration paintball equipment with other brands, you're going to see these paintball brands probably grow in popularity as well, which then means more money just gets thrown into the pot. Paintball goes from being a multi-million-dollar industry to a multi-billion-dollar industry. And with more money, it could possibly lead to, well, more tournaments, more events. That would be, I would say, the best case scenario is that you get more events and more tournaments. I mean, imagine if this goes well for like the next, I don't know, it's all hypothetical, but let's say it goes well for like the next 2 years or something like that. Then the third year, they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to be doing 6 events for the NXL. And then we're going to do 5 events over for the NXL European League. That'd be awesome. You just have more paintball. That's going to be sweet. Like, who doesn't want to watch and play more paintball? Like, come on. This is arguably like the coolest sport ever. And just getting back on ESPN is already just like a massive step in the right direction. But that's everything that I've got like written down here. But if you feel like I've missed something, you feel like there's something more to talk about, let's discuss it in the comment section below. Like, I definitely want everyone to, you know, pick our brains about it. We want to see what you guys and gals out there think. And I'm very hopeful for the future of the sport. I think this is going to be a really, really cool thing. God, it's so exciting. It's going to be so exciting, like, if paintball just gets back onto, like, ESPN. Oh, man. I think you can actually still watch some of the stuff that was broadcast on ESPN. But, man, that was a really cool historical era in paintball, at least in my opinion. And I think it's really awesome that we're going to be going back to that. So, well, that's going to conclude the video here. If you like what you see, please hit that like button, ring the bell to get notified for the next upload, and don't forget to subscribe. And we're going to see you guys and gals when we upload our next video.